going to picture all the aliens with balls on their chin just to make it more amusing for me.
and like balls on their chins, and like the little proboscis, those have balls on their chins too. That's how we start a broadcast right there.
Oh yeah, Jay, it's a Balchinian. All right. So who would like to give the recap?
Well, so we started off this session, and it was fairly quiet. Things were tense, and I don't actually recall much before the aliens came. Quite literally, the aliens. So I remember, actually, no, I do remember we were talking with an old woman who is very interested in Martha.
Very interested in Martha.
Very interested. And Martha was trying to play wingman for Petrie, but she wasn't really having any of it. But she was tending to the trees who were forming the wall around the city we're in.
We also met with the council, who ultimately we had to convince to let us go speak to Olean. And we pretty much had it all wrapped up, and it seemed like we had convinced them that it was at least worth letting us speak with Olean. And then Petrie spoke. And so that was out the window. We were never going to get to meet with him.
I think we're good now. He's dead. It's like, guys, you don't have to worry about it. He's back there. He's dead.
Well, we were able to kind of leave it off and saying that we actually didn't need to see Olean. We just needed one of his branches.
Right.
And they could go get it.
Did we give them the spearhead? Because I feel like
yes,
we did.
Jesus fucking Christ! What's wrong with you people?
So we did give them the spearhead because they were going to do closer examination on it.
Well, I also left my magic sleeping bag and most of my weapons in wherever it was we were being housed. So I have my bow and my hammer, at least. I have my backpack, so whatever's in there.
Yes, and then there was also, I believe, Omerta was trying to discuss the security situation with somebody, and then also Ivar was trying to talk to some of the children who wouldn't let them play. Or let him play in their game, and then there was the massive attack with the aliens breaking through the wall and just causing havoc. And then that's when you guys began fighting and fighting and fighting. And then Colmar got killed. I think Colmar was ripped in half. And the aliens just pounced on him. And then Petrie allowed himself to get swarmed by the aliens, and then just disappeared in a flash of silver flame, causing all of the aliens that were on him to disappear as well. But I do also want to point out that before he died, he also pulled an alien off of Ivar, which allowed Ivar to escape. Or two. I think you grappled both of them.
Yeah, I
grappled two, one in each arm.
Yeah, kind of locked them in.
Walk away with them.
And Marthel, wild surge caused Marthel to levitate. So we had to lasso Marthel.
Yes,
and we're
like
flying him. Yes, and flying him away like he was a kite.
Luckily, I move really fast.
Right.
So
Ivar noticed that Olean is spelled a lot like alien, so clearly they're all in league.
That's some conspiracy theory logic right there.
Yeah, so
Come on, Olean, alien? How can there not be a connection?
I've heard this before. It's called sea level, not sea curve.
so I believe you guys had taken that as a sign to bolt, and I think you guys were headed to try and find Olean.
Oh, yeah.
We were headed.
Big
We.
tree.
I don't think we had that much of a plan in our retreat of go find Olean. Our plan was retreat towards the big tree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's mostly geographical because it's that away with the aliens that away.
Yeah. I mean, we figured we know that Olean is the big tree, or at least we have an inkling. So it would make sense that we'd head towards the big tree, not just because maybe it's Olean, but that it's probably the best guarded.
Yeah, I assume that's where other people would retreat to as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you guys are definitely not alone. There are others that are running by you trying to get to the tree. Many of them are slower than you. Much like in the Battle of Winterfell, you're seeing people getting torn up on all sides of you by these creatures, using their double jaw to pierce through their skulls into their chests, using their claws to rip out throats, and their spear-like tails to just impale anybody that happens to cross paths with them. And so it is a really brutal scene all around you.
So are they chasing us?
They are. Additionally, I just want to kind of frame the scene. There are 3 of the 12 moons right now are currently out lighting the night sky, which creates a kind of pale glow over everything. So it is fairly well lit night, which does give you a bit of an advantage because it's not complete darkness of the nighttime, but it is still chaos all around you. So go ahead, Martha. What were you going to say?
So I imagine Martha's being pulled with a rope around his waist.
You're hanging on to the rope because
yeah. So I have this rope, and I would try to fashion it around my waist, like
Yeah, you could probably do that.
Yeah, and then so since I'm just kind of levitating and being dragged, I'm gonna position myself so I'm facing back towards the horde, and just start firebolting everything I can see. Since I don't have to be in control of my movement, and I am just basically sitting there. So I would try to firebolt pretty much and just hit whatever I can.
Which does actually help a great deal, as those aliens that charge towards your group, they are met with this resistance by Marthau, causing flames to erupt all around these aliens. A lot of the shots kind of go wild just because of the chaos of the situation, but enough of them strike truly, and because the fire seems to really affect these creatures, it seems to be doing a good job in terms of slowing them down from your approach. And since you are a much more difficult target than the general masses all around you, a lot of these aliens then change course to much more vulnerable targets, the women and children and other men of the grove. So then additionally, let's see.
What's the T-Rex doing? I'm interested in that.
So you can hear its roar or the group can hear its roar, but it is back off in the distance, occupied with the main forces that were rallied to try and staunch the flow of these creatures from entering the grove. So everybody, Ivar and Omerta, give me athletics checks.
Why 4 exactly?
Or you could do acrobatics.
Oh, good. I was not looking forward to this roll.
Indeed. Jesus.
So that's a 26. It would have been a 16 in athletics.
12.
Did you roll with disadvantage?
I did not. Damn it. Well, that was better.
Okay. So you got a 26, and Omerta, you got
12.
okay. And you're all the way up at the front, right? Speeding along as you carry Marthau.
Theoretically.
So what ends up happening is as you're running, you suddenly kick something, but it's not just a kick. It seems to kind of grasp your ankle as well, and it sends you flying. And Marthau is then kind of left floating. He kind of is moving along with you, but he slows down a bit. But despite that, he's continuing his assault with the fire bolts, trying to target any aliens that come within range. And Omerta, you look back, and you and Ivar, both of you guys, give me perception checks.
Six. The disadvantage did not did affect me there.
Omerta, what was yours?
14.
Okay. Omerta, whatever it is that you tripped on, the force of your movement seems to have pulled it up, and you can see something digging itself from the ground.
Okay. I mean, I don't really care. I'll grab the rope and keep moving. I don't know what it is. Like, does it seem to have long, shitty fucking fingers?
From your position, it seems to be kind of a humanoid silhouette. It doesn't seem to be one of these creatures. And now at this time,
how far back are those creatures?
Martha's doing a good job of keeping the ones that would be coming towards you away, since his firebolt has a 120-foot range. So probably about 120 feet from you.
Okay.
Or more. And then Ivar, now after this moment, you can see this sort of thing rising from the ground where Omerta tripped.
What detail do I see of it? What does it look like to me? Just like the ground moving up, or something specific crawling out of the ground?
So it looks like something crawling out of the ground. You notice it raises one hand, and it seems to have something shaped like a spade or a shovel.
Presumably, I see that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll just stand up, grab the rope, and say, "You may want to stay down there. It's safer down there." Any response? I don't know.
I don't know. Is there any response?
Should I make a perception check?
No, you don't need to.
Okay, do I hear him?
Yeah.
Oh, Omerta, some help would be nice, please.
I'll help.
All right. So as you approach this person who's now waist deep, crawling out of the ground, which you notice to be kind of wet and fresh, as if it was like a recently dug grave. And well, Peter, go ahead and just describe what it is that Omerta sees.
Okay.
Tell me why it knows my name.
In sensual detail.
Oh yes,
So-
that will really highlight the details.
So the will-o'-the-wisp appears. It was invisible, but appears next to me. It looks like a body of an elven woman, older elven woman, but it's. You can see it's from what you can see, like her hand and arm is kind of decayed, but the head is not of an elven woman. It looks like one of the creatures. It looks like this. And she has a shovel. You can see like there's some kind of frost or something, like where the teeth and face are.
Okay. Just look. Clever man.
Yeah.
Let's get moving.
Well, as seeing the head now, Ivar would yell, "Firebolt! Firebolt! Firebolt!"
And Martha would like turn down. He would like look down, and he would see that.
It's okay.
What is that?
So I immediately turn around and it's like, where is it? Where'd it go? Who's coming?
Whatever. There's no time to waste. Let's get in there.
More of this. Let's move.
Accept it and move on.
I'll I'll whistle. I can't do the whistles like that whole fingers of the mouth whistle. Calling for a little help, if you will.
Okay.
And I suppose would be okay.
Yeah.
Sort of appearing out of nowhere is this black horse with a fiery mane and red eyes. May want to get on.
Who are you talking to?
You.
Oh, of course. Well, thank you.
I don't think you'll be as fast as me and the little one over there, so. The horse.
Are they going to actually let us into their last-ditch defense compound with alien head?
Rub some dirt on his face. He'll be fine.
Meanwhile, at that point, Martha, you realize that the aliens seem to be coming much more. There's a group of them that are coming off in the distance,
Like
and if you don't move quick, they may overrun you, and even with your fire bolting, it may not be enough to staunch them.
Hurry.
Ivar is pondering how he knows that's an elven woman's body.
Something uncanny about it. So I'll help this renewed Colmar, I guess, onto the
Of course,
nightmare.
isn't it obvious?
To me, yes. Come on.
And the will-o'-the-wisp follows along with us, and I just look at it and go, couldn't you have picked someone not buried under the ground?
That would have been handy for me, yeah.
At that point, everybody, just, even with the chaos, you can't ignore it. The smell coming off of this creature that came from the ground is just, it's absolutely abhorrent.
I'm hoping that I'm downwind of that smell because I'm up in the air.
You're upwind of it.
Yeah, like I hope that like it's like
Rises.
well, it's not rising. There's a little bit of a breeze, at least with all the hordes of oncoming things. At least they could do that for you.
Yeah, actually, those of you looking closely at this figure notice that it's almost like there's almost you think you can see this green gas kind of swirling around.
Just visible stink lines coming up.
I'll smack the nightmare's ass and make it get moving.
All right, and it does, and you guys are off.
It moves faster than all of us, so
Yeah.
and it can fly. So hang on. I'll grab the rope and get moving.
So you guys begin once more moving towards the great tree, and then as you are getting close, the grove is like you can see it in the distance. It becomes clear in the moonlight. You're probably only a couple 100 feet away from entering the grove proper around Olean, and suddenly you hear this massive roar. Martha, you see it coming from your position, but it's far too quick to do anything about it. From the darkness, this giant figure leaps out above all of you, landing in front of you with kind of a roll, and then you can kind of see it awkwardly struggle and get up and face you, and its massive head opens numerous jaws, and it just roars.
Are we looking at the fucking queen?
Hold on. Let's see. Oh, it's not open. Why is it not open? It should be open.
I don't care what comes after us. Get to the tree.
Maybe it's Petrie.
Petrie was slightly more friendly than that.
There we go. Okay.
So if Stench is coming down upwind, then Stench is also going to be returning downwind after that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So this is what is in front of you. It is absolutely enormous, with its armor glistening in the moonlight. So everybody roll initiative.
Nice.
Fucking disadvantage. I rolled a 2, so that's a 7.
I still admire the thing.
It is in any other circumstance, and despite its ferocity and the terror it evokes, it is quite a sight to behold. So anyone get above a 20?
I did.
I got a 20.
What did you get, Martha?
21.
What's your dexterity?
11.
Okay, it goes first. I rolled a natural 20 on my initiative for it. So we got the monster, then Marthau, the
He switched sides.
Yeah.
He's tired of getting killed. He's gonna kill us now.
Wait a minute. So what am I doing? Okay, then we got Omerta. And then Colmar. Brendan, did you roll initiative? Yeah, you did. So, and then all right, we got the monster up, Martha on deck, Omerta in the hole. What is the order that you guys are kind of running in? Is there an order?
Well, I mean, I assume, I don't know who's faster between like what's my speed
Well-
is 40.
Currently, my speed is 60.
So it would probably be you would probably be up in front of me because you're a bit faster.
The nightmare has a fly speed of 90.
right, but
that basically just got summoned.
and were you telling the nightmare to run in front of you or alongside you?
Not like far in front of me, but a little bit in front of me.
Okay.
So you're using Colmar as a shield.
Did this fucker come out in front of us?
Yes.
Yeah, it
Oh,
did.
okay.
It leaped.
Yeah.
It leaped over everybody's heads.
Yeah, well, sorry about that.
And
That was
and
not my intent.
I assume Marthel is a little bit like behind you, but up in the air.
Yeah, just a little behind.
And I think I would probably then be under Marthel.
I imagine like stopping like to a skid, and then like Martha's like behind me, and he just kind of keeps going until I tug on the rope and.
Pretty much, it's like parasailing, but over aliens.
Yeah. Let me see if I can swing you over.
All right. So let's see. 3, 4. Convenient. All right. So the monster charges forward. It lashes out its tail as it runs by Colmar and goes to strike him. Wait, why is this not open? God damn it.
Your new character has better AC, right?
That's funny.
So
All the
With-
fortitude of an elven woman's corpse.
Right.
But
So
maybe the
I'm-
acid breath of one of these things.
I'm guessing a 21 hits, Peter.
I'm guessing it does. Yeah.
Hopefully, this isn't as disastrous as the last hit.
You made a backup to this backup, right? There's more corpses in the ground, right?
That's right.
All right, you take 21 piercing damage from the tail, and then the monster charges by you though, and seems to have another target in mind.
Okay.
So go ahead and if you want to give an attack of opportunity, you can. Omerta, the nightmare can also get an attack of opportunity if it wishes.
Yeah, totally. Probably not with a 10, though.
No, 10 doesn't hurt. And then Colmar.
Let's see. I guess I'll try to. Let's see. Can I toll the dead? Or no?
Do you have Warcaster?
Yep.
Okay.
Hey, I actually got to use it once.
Toll the Dead you wouldn't be able to use Toll the Dead. Do you have well, you have Vampiric Blade, right?
I wouldn't.
Yeah, but I thought, yeah, can't I use Toll the Dead because I got the shovel?
Right, you can use Toll the Dead, but I don't think that qualifies because it's a melee spell attack, right? For the Warcaster.
I don't think so. It just has to target a single opponent. You actually cast a spell at the creature rather than making an opportunity attack. The spell must have a casting time of 1 action. It must target only that creature.
Oh yeah, okay. Go ahead, Toll the Dead. So that's a Wisdom save then.
Yeah.
Fails.
Okay. It said 3d8 or 3d12. I don't know which one it's supposed to
3d8 because it's at full health right now.
be. Okay.
And then from now on, it'll be 12.
12 necrotic.
Okay. The creature barely notices. And then it just the jaws reach out to try and engorge upon Omerta. So
It's running at me. I just sort of. You ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight?
it's a 27.
I'm gonna tell it no.
All right. So as I'm rolling these dice, go ahead and give me either an acrobatics or athletics check.
Okay. Despite my physical nature, I am more of a cat. Oh, fuck me. That ain't gonna work out.
And the good news is, as soon as it swallows you, it can basically just noodle-like slurp up the rope.
Yeah.
And then-
All right. What'd you roll?
Shit. 6.
Okay. So you take 10 piercing damage and 8 acid damage as it clenches its jaws upon you and painfully lifts you up to the off the ground and begins kind of you can sense the vibrations from its neck muscles. It's getting ready to just ragdoll you. So you are considered restrained.
Oh. Incoming whiplash damage.
All right, that's its turn. Martha, you're up. Omerta on deck. Holmar in the hole.
All right. So Omerta's being restrained. Well, I was hoping I could go first and get the first strike.
I was hoping my 20 would go first.
I mean, every other day that would have happened, but
Indeed.
the dice are strangely on my side tonight. For now.
So Omerta is considered restrained.
Yes.
What's the distance between Omerta and I?
You're floating 20 feet above him and kind of a little off to the front, which puts you like if you reached out, you could probably touch this creature.
Gotcha. All right, so I'm going to I'm gonna look at Omerta and say, "Don't worry, you got this." And I'm going to cast Enlarge on Omerta.
Delightful.
If only we had L1.
Okay, so Omerta becomes too large for the creature to effectively hold it in its mouth. But Omerta, you're not going to get away squeaky clean because as your weight increases and as you're enlarging into the teeth. And your weight is causing your flesh to kind of drag out of the mouth, so it's not completely
No good deed.
ideal.
No good deed.
So you take 20 more piercing damage.
Fucking what? Jesus. That was more than the bite.
I rolled really poorly on the first bite. You got mostly ones. But you're free now, and you're no longer restrained.
And you're big. Or huge, as some would say.
Huge.
All right, Martha, are you doing anything else with your turn?
Of course. So I'm gonna cast. I'm gonna give a bardic inspiration die to Omerta.
Okay.
He could
That's
probably use it.
That's
Was
a
it
D6,
D8?
right?
D6.
D6.
Still a D6, huh?
Yeah, I mean, because I incremented to sorcerer levels, but not bard.
Got it.
All right, so that's your action, bonus action. Anything else?
I think that's it for now.
Okay. So that's Martha. Omerta, you're up. Colmar on deck. Brendan, you'll be up after Colmar.
So how tall is the creature? What did you say?
You know, if just as it is right now, it's standing probably at its hip about 20 feet. But if it reared up, it would probably be as tall as 30 feet, maybe even a little bit more.
All right. It's still like twice my size. But all right. Well, this thing can fuck itself right off. Let's see here. All right. I shall go ahead and do my Duke of Hell, I think. This thing has annoyed me. It annoyed me that it did more damage when I was falling out of its mouth than whenever it bit me. So,
Okay.
I don't know if I get to decide exactly what shows up.
Hopefully, it's Beelzebub.
So, it'll be a CR8 fiend. You can choose which one.
Ready? Let me 1 second. Monsters.
So it looks like you have the options: Caneloth, Chain Devil, Hezrao, Howler, or Shuzuba.
Let's see here. That's large creature could be nice. What's this thing? Large.
How about the rest of the alien things? Are they still running up behind us?
Yeah, they're gonna close. You have a little bit, but yeah, they're coming.
Yeah. Let's do a Caneloth.
Okay.
These things seem to bleed acid, and he's immune to that.
All right. Of course, you would pick the one book that I don't have easy access to. Do you have the stats?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Did I find it?
That's the picture of it. I don't know if you guys can see that, though.
No, we see it. Yeah. Right, now we're summoning our own aliens.
It's like, so yeah, it's like, sorry, sweetheart, but I must bring my own friends to play. And I just sort of like gestured to the ground and like motion upwards, and this creature crawls out from the ground in a sort of like fiery, and then the ground sort of closes up again, and there's this creature.
Dumb question. If you're enlarged, is the creature also enlarged that you summon, or is it just, or is it do creatures not follow the rules?
It's proportional.
It's totally large.
Okay, I found the stats.
It's a medium creature. But
So the monster, it kind of looks to you, and its tongue flips out a bit, and telepathically it says, "You have summoned me. What is your command?"
dispatch this creature here for me.
Immediately, its tongue whips out, and then it attempts to hit the creature. Natural 20. Confirmed.
And now roll 100, so it dies.
This thing is probably like a huge T-Rex xenomorph.
Yeah.
That's too bad. Even a reduce wouldn't make it small enough for this tongue to grapple it.
All right. So the tongue whips out and pierces the xenomorph T-Rex, causing the alien to let out a screech. Where is it? What the fuck? There it is. Okay. So double max damage. So that's 24, 28. So 56. So 56 damage, and then it's not going to be grappled because it's too big
Sure.
to grapple with. And then it immediately closes the distance to attack with one of its claws. Natural 20. Natural 20. I've literally rolled 3 20s in a row.
Keep it up for my creature.
I mean,
If your creature lives.
Yeah.
wow.
Crunch.
Okay. I've rolled 3 20s in a row. So
why'd you stop?
because the fourth
Yeah,
roll
get a
was a
lottery
7.
ticket.
So this is a little anticlimactic, but Omerta, go ahead and describe how your monster just destroys this thing.
So it basically it flings its tongue out and wraps around its neck, and uses that to like pull itself up to the creature and starts clawing at it as the tongue sort of constricts around its neck, and eventually sort of constricting all the way through and taking the thing's head off.
Okay. It does explode in acid as it does that. So
No good deed.
everybody give me a dexterity save.
I hide behind this thing.
I'm going to use an action point rather than take my natural one.
Ooh, Jesus. Me too. Samesies.
Oh man, dexterity saves are what I'm good at.
Yeah,
Jesus
that's what I'm good at too, but
Christ.
natural one was bad. I got a 26 again.
I'm going to use another one to avoid the second natural one I just rolled. Oh, fuck me.
The universe is balancing out all the 20s.
Jesus.
Ivar would like to ask, why didn't you summon this thing in the last fight?
I was waiting for just such an occasion to.
I would like to say I roll in 5 rolls. I rolled 4 natural 20s. That's ridiculous. What the fuck?
Your luck tonight is playing in our favor.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So we have a 15, a 15, an 8, and then Ivar. Ivar, what'd you get?
26.
Okay. So Ivar, you take half damage. Everyone else takes full damage.
Jesus.
I have evasion.
Remember that you
Okay.
have Tacitus, you have the die, the bardic inspiration.
Oh.
Yes, you can use that if you like.
D6. That's why I had that dice out. Ooh, hey, an extra 6 on that 15. 21.
Okay. So you take half damage.
Sweet.
So we
Thank you very
got
much.
21 acid damage, 10 if we saved. And then the creature, once it has dispatched the T-Rex, the alien T-Rex, it turns to you, Omerta, and says, "Our debt is settled. Next time there will be costs." And then it seems to sink into a puddle of darkness, and it's then gone.
Pleasure seeing you too.
Why did you let it go? It's very handy in a fight.
We could have milked it for a bit. I guess you're fairly tall, so you're a large Seb. So we could have milked it for a bit more.
I just like push you. No.
All right. So at that point,
Continue moving.
Let's hurry to Oleant. We may have killed this thing, but we're going to be overrun if we don't go.
and at that point, you see what seems to be a second Will-o'-the-Wisp kind of form next to Colmar's Will-o'-the-Wisp. But then it seems to get bigger and brighter until it is a pillar of flame that is burning completely white.
Is it burning like upwards? Like, am I above this thing and now this column of light is because
No, you're not, it's not directly beneath you, but it is beside Colmar, and getting brighter and brighter, although it doesn't seem to actually burn any of you. In fact, the light seems to be soothing and give you a strange sense of calm and resolution that is fighting back the terror of these creatures that are approaching. Go ahead, Brendan.
God damn it, he's back.
He did pretty well. Eventually, it starts to form into a shape which looks like an ethereal kind of ghost form, and he's like holding like this large banner which has the silver flame on it, and he goes, "Charge!" as he like starts running towards the the aliens, and you see like these like sort of spirit guardians sort of form around him as they charge into the aliens.
Can I like grab him?
So as you try to grab him, your hand just passes directly through him.
Good day to you.
I'm not even sure why we waited for this pillar of flame to burn. We can just run.
Oh shit! More things are here to kill us. Let's go.
All right. So you guys begin running once more to Olean. Petrie, go ahead and describe the scene if anybody were to look behind you or behind them to what's happening.
So Petrie sort of would have slowed down, and you would have just seen like these like giant ethereal paladins sort of just jumping into a wave of the aliens and pushing past the elves to just try and cut through. Petrie would start like he'd like look at the aliens and then just start walking like just slowly back towards you guys as the paladins just continue just chopping through while there's like lights everywhere and fire, and it's just a big clusterfuck of stuff.
Okay.
Well, as you walk slowly, I imagine Ivar and Omerta are running full speed.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's like the end. Or it's like the Return of the King, where like the hobbits are like charging, and then like everybody just like runs past them.
So yeah, Kolmar is running, but he keeps looking back, but he's not looking at Petrie. He's looking at that dead corpse and thinking, maybe I could get a piece. I could bring some. No, I can't do that.
Which dead corpse?
The splattered creature that was just destroyed.
Actually, Kolmar, give me a wisdom save.
Let's see. Wisdom save. Oh crap. 14.
Okay. Okay, you are. I'm gonna send you an email.
See it, Tony.
Tony realized the easiest way to survive this fight
Is
just to not be here.
You can't kill my character if I'm not here.
How war games it though.
All right, Peter, sent.
All right.
The only way to win is to not play at all.
So Omerta just like dives into mallet space, leaving the rope that Martha was tied to just dangling.
Actually, since Tony bugged out, is it cool if we take a quick break here?
Sure.
Sure.
All right.
Easy.
So Kolmar can figure out what happens to him. I saw the evil smile on the DM's face
I kind of knew
when he asked for you to make that save.
Yeah, I kind of knew what was coming. So We've decided to take a break. In case you didn't know.
So Tony came back for like a second, and then he he left again. Can't hear you. Yeah.
Is everything okay with him?
Yeah, he seemed okay, and then I guess the internet must have dropped out, and he just faded out again. Like had a lag screen or whatever, and then left. Oh, and there he is.
Yo.
Oh,
Nora thought it was. I told Nora what transpired of our conversation right before we started. And she got a kick out of it.
So I like the word my clusterfuck thing a little better. Imagine like light bombs going off. That's what it's more like instead of a clusterfuck of stuff. Couldn't find the right words.
Did you move your computer, Peter?
Yes. Yeah, we got a new computer. It's where the old one was.
Oh, okay.
And we're not good enough for the new computer? You're just going to play on the old one?
No, I do that for the streaming on Thursday.
The new computer is a Thursday computer?
Yep.
So what is the key distinction between using the new computer and the old computer?
Pretty much, it's supposed to be, the new one's supposed to be a lot faster, and I haven't done any video editing and stuff on it, so it's supposed to be much better. This one's a lot older. I just wanted to make sure I kept using it. And it's got all my stuff I've saved on here, so the other one doesn't.
Gotcha. Yeah, you got to transfer your porn over, over time. You can't go all at once.
Yeah, that's why I got terabyte hard drives.
Fingers crossed it stays up.
Yep, we lost Peter now.
He's there. He's just transferring to his new computer.
That's right.
Sorry, I am trying to recover from the unexpected events that have just taken place with the instant kill.
I'm thankful you were lucky tonight.
Yeah, luckily you were rolling it.
Oh, don't worry. you got a whole week before I could do that again.
We'll just rest for a week. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Just go hide out for someplace.
Well, attempt it.
We'll
First
just all
one's free.
all hang off the flying horse and fly the fuck out of here.
I was thinking like, oh, you know what? It's just me, and it's just Ivar and Marthal. Perfect. We'll just use the nightmare. We'll go over to the ethereal plane, just chill out, let shit die down for a while. No, here comes Colmar fucking up the numbers. That's why I was like, you should have just stayed in the ground. It's safer down there.
One more second.
Yeah, Petrie seems fine. He's still half ethereal himself.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'll meet you there. I'll come over.
Maybe we'll stumble upon an Olean's kind of circle a box of calico.
All right. So,
I'm gonna use my conduit to heal up.
okay. So as that,
So, did you read my email?
I am reading it now.
Okay. It was just a thought. I know that. Anyway.
That's fine. That's fine. Yeah. Do that then.
So you see,
roll again.
No, I attacked it.
What?
I attacked it with Toll the Dead.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So you see Colmar, he keeps looking back, and then he turns and starts running back towards the creature, and then he uses Misty Step to get there faster.
And then I hop on the back of the nightmare. For the extra speed.
You see him frantically take out the shovel and start digging a grave and putting the pieces of the creature that has been destroyed in it.
All right. So, how does everybody react to this?
That's his funeral. I don't care.
What are you doing?
Well, I'll be a minute. Just taking care of business.
How many lives do you have?
And you just see him look around. Oh, a lot.
All right.
Oh. See you in a little bit then. We're going to keep going.
Petrie like slowly starts to like back up towards you, and he's just got like, and he's like, every time like an alien gets near, he smashes the banner into the floor, and then like another spirit guardian sort of just jumps out and attacks an alien, and he's like, and he just looks back at you and he says, "Stop playing with the dead. We gotta go."
Where, Petrie, where was this earlier?
I don't know.
Says
now
the alien-headed Colmar.
We're learning a lot about everybody right now.
Actually, suddenly, while you're within, when Petrie gets close, Colmar, that urge subsides, and you're able to realize, wait a minute, what are you doing?
Oh, dear me. And I reach down and like find some random piece and pocket it of the carapace, and I start running again. We've got to get out of here.
Give me an investigation check.
You say that as like we're just
Me?
looking at like,
Colmar,
17.
you grab the arm-sized proboscis.
Exactly what I wanted.
It's like a baby's arm holding an apple.
Like,
And you discover that dresses don't have pockets, so elven woman probably wasn't the best body to take.
Maybe she's got an apron.
Yeah, so I got the shovel in one hand and I got the proboscis under my arm, and I'm just running.
all right. Meanwhile, Omerta, Ivar, and Martha, you guys get close to what you assume to be Olean. It is an absolutely giant oak tree. Despite it being an oak tree, it is the size of a small redwood. It is like the circumference of the tree, the height of the tree. I don't think any of you have ever seen a tree so big in your lives, unless you have previously frequented outside of Corvair or been in the Eldian Reaches previously. So you're at the tree.
Do we see anything around the tree, like any people or? Anything in the tree? Like if we look up, is it just branches? Do we see any kind of structures? Any appendages?
There are no structures.
I mean,
You
I
see
would
that-
be then. Sorry, go ahead.
You
Oh,
do
sorry.
see, as you're looking around the tree, you see a system of roots seems to have risen up, and there are a couple of people that you see kind of moving into it, because it seems to almost create like a kind of tunnel that goes into the ground.
Look like a spot to me.
I guess. I don't know if I want to back ourselves into some place we can't easily get out of again. But if that's where we're gonna put up the final defense against these things, I guess we have to go there.
As long as the roots can hide us, then they may never even know.
If this experience has taught me anything, is that it doesn't matter if we die, we come right back.
At this point, Martha, the effect is probably subsided, so you slowly begin to float to the ground.
The green gas that was coming out of my tush is sputtering out, and then I kind of float down.
Yeah, I forgot that aspect of it.
Yeah.
Thank you for the reminder.
So how big is this tunnel? Can the Nightmare easily fit into it? and giant ass Omerta?
No, I mean it could probably fit 2 normal-sized people side by side.
Well, I mean, the enlarge only lasts for like a minute, I think, right?
Yeah, and it's a concentration. So
Yeah.
as we get close to the tree, I would stop concentrating. So he would return to normal size.
Yeah, and I'll just tell the nightmare, pop on over to the other side, but keep an eye out. And then it just kind of shimmers away.
And Ivar falls to the ground.
As you get closer to the entrance, at that point, Colmar and Petrie are not too far behind. You see the tree begin to shake, and some of the branches begin to move to interject between you and the entrance, and the branches kind of form into a shape of a face, and you can hear from all around you. It's not from this face, but from everywhere. In a voice that shakes the trees, you hear, "You are not one of this grove. Who are you?"
Your last hope?
I am Marthal the Handsome, and we are the ones who are awaiting the Council of the Wise,
Only.
the Wise Elf Village. We have brought. Doubtless, they came to you. We brought the spear that was once used to imprison the Dalkir. That was made from one of your branches, and we initially came to get.
You brought the spear?
Yes.
Then it is true. It is the Dalkir. It has risen again.
We have seen it. We have seen it a couple times. We came initially to seek audience with you so we could perhaps have one of your appendages to remake the spear to put it back into its place.
Perhaps we can have this discussion inside.
Yes, we should. It's dread smells awful out here.
Hold. As Martha was beginning to speak and mentioning the spear, suddenly one of the roots rises up, and it upon the roots is a knob that kind of holds the spearhead. If you have brought the spear, and if you have faced the Dalkir before, then you may be our only hope.
Yes, that is what Alberta was alluding to.
Why, isn't it obvious?
Yes, it was not just a manner of speech then. And then Olean provides you with one of his branches and holds the spear out for you. And he says, "But you must know before you go. The Dalkir, it is trying to reach the sacred grove."
Where is the sacred grove?
It
Or
was
what is it?
It is the culmination of all knowledge within this world. It is the trees whose roots bind the ground of this sphere of life. If the Dalkir were to reach it, all this world would be corrupted. Nothing would be able to escape its reach.
What does the Dalkir want?
To transform. It wants to change this world into one more its liking.
Well, we can't have that happen. It'd be dreadfully awful.
Can't we just send? How can we? Previously, this was imprisoned under a spear. Can we just send it to a world that it already likes? Perhaps back to Zoria?
You seem to know of this creature. Unfortunately, in the time of the Great War against these creatures, when they first invaded this world, some were able to be sent back. Others resisted the magics that we brought against it. This was one such creature. All that could be done was to bind it in hopes that it would never return.
What makes this Dalkir stronger or different than the others?
This Dalkir is not the strongest. There are others.
Hmm.
And where can we find this sacred grove so that we can help defend it?
At that point, several roots rise up from the ground, each with kind of rounded tips, and they rise and begin to get within inches of your heads, of your foreheads. And he says, I will show you, but the information will also be bound. You will know how to get there for this purpose, but you will forget the information as soon as it is no longer needed. The grove must be protected at all costs, even from mortals such as yourselves. Do you accept?
That sounds fair.
Yeah, I don't want to know about this grove any more than I have to.
So each of you, except for Petrie, are touched upon the head, and you suddenly are infused with a kind of instinctual knowledge of where the grove is. It's something that is kind of primal. It's pre-verbal. Images and directions, understanding of the wind currents that would guide you there, but nothing that would be easy for you to kind of make concretely enough to even write down the information or directly communicate it to another person.
Well, that's downright weird.
And then so he gives you a branch and he gives you the spear, and he says, quickly, you must. And then before he can say anything, there's a huge explosion against the bark of the tree, and there is a large scar mark that is within, like a crater within his trunk that is bubbling and sizzling. It came from just off to the side. Otherwise, each of you would have also been caught in the blast. And as you look up, you see the Dalkir flying above the trees. Upon each shoulder seems to be some kind of winged creature that are each of them seem to be grasping his shoulders. One of the creatures has wings much like a bat. The other one has wings more similar to that of a dragonfly. and they are lowering the Delkir to the ground. At that point, everybody feels a massive kind of pressure within their skulls, and the presence of the Delkir is overwhelming. So everybody give me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh.
Petrie, you're fine.
Can I get that inspiration?
I'm gonna use an action point.
I'm tempted to use an action point, but I don't even know if I can hit the DC. Whatever this is.
I used an action point. I got it gave me a 16.
Okay. So
Yeah, I'm going to use the action point just to see if I can do better.
I'm going to assume that's going to be insufficient. So, hey, that's what I rolled on my die.
Okay, so actually that makes sense. So, Kolmar, Omerta, and Ivar, you guys are all able to force the sensation from your thoughts. Martha, for you, this is a familiar sensation. This is that sense of kind of dread mixed with awe of this creature, and you kind of feel a strange sense of connection with it. Not quite longing, not quite a desire, but a connection that can't quite be put into words.
Why won't you leave us alone? Go back home. Get out of my life.
You're not my real dad.
At that point, Olean swings a massive branch at the creature, causing one of the wings to be just disintegrated in the massive blow, just kind of crushing it into gooey pieces, sending the Delkir to the ground. However, those pieces then recoalesce, and this is the creature that you see emerge from the pulp that what it once was.
Petrie, can you please get your body back so you can wield this spear?
I try to grab it. I'm like, oh man.
So that was formed out of like dragonfly wings?
What's that?
That was formed out of dragonfly wings?
It was a creature with dragonfly wings, but it's remolded itself into this thing and is slithering at you while Olean is attacking the Delkir.
I've seen that picture before.
So everyone roll initiative.
Is this thing a Delkir?
Well, you've certainly never seen anything like this before.
I've never seen anything like any of these fucking things before.
So,
I've never seen a talking tree before.
all right.
I have
So
in the forest with King Gerald.
Yes, Ometa, this is a strange day indeed.
All right, Ivar, you're up. Monsters on deck. Omerta in the hole.
How far away is it?
It is probably about 20 feet away from you.
So how big is it?
It's a clump of tentacles, not much larger than a man.
So,
Also, Martha, for this fight, you're considered frightened
All right.
due to the effects of the Delkir.
okay, so I am going to pull my hammer off my back and advance towards it. And first, swing with the hammer. Where is that? That's a 22.
That's a hit.
Then I'm going to spend a Kai point to flurry of blows.
Okay.
And that's a 28 and a 23.
Both those hit.
So that is... I'm going to actually spend another Kai point to make one of those a stunning strike. So it has to make a DC 15 Constitution save.
Okay. Let's do the damage first.
Yep. That's 33 points of damage, all bludgeoning.
Okay. And then it's a Constitution saving throw.
Yep.
20, not natural.
Yeah, I made it.
Okay. Did you want to try any other stunning strikes? Because you can try one after each one, right?
Yeah. I am running out of Kai points, but sure, I'll try another one.
Okay. Oh, that one's a 21.
Then I will, as a bonus action, I am going to...
Isn't your flurry a bonus action?
Oh, yeah, you're right. Never mind.
You can use an action point.
Yeah, I'm going to use an action point, although I might regret this later, so that I can disengage and run away.
All right, where are you running to?
I mean, not necessarily like directly back at all of the party, but kind of diagonally from them.
Okay. Did you want to? It's the same here. Did you want to go down into the tunnel?
How big is this thing again?
It's about person size.
Oh, so we can make it into the tunnel. That might be the easy way to kill it. Just run into the tunnel, keep shooting. But so where's the tunnel? Like, there's us and it. Where's the tunnel relative to us and it?
The tunnel is behind you, relative to where the creature is.
Oh, then yeah, sure. I'll run into the mouth of the tunnel.
Okay. All right. Anything else you want to do?
As I run, I'm gonna stow my hammer so that I can use my bow if I need to next turn without losing it.
Okay. So at that point, the creature sinks some of its tentacles into the ground, and a 20-foot square on the ground in front of the tunnel erupts into black tentacles that are just swinging around, looking to grab whatever might come within their way. Ivar, you're just outside of this, within the mouth of the tunnel. But if you were to step foot outside, you would be potentially grabbed up by these things. And
How much cover do they provide? Are they blocking my sight entirely?
they're not blocking line of sight.
Okay.
But I probably should have asked who's close to the tunnel right now. Everybody just give me a dexterity save anyways. If you succeed, you're not considered in the area. If you are, then we'll do another dexterity save.
Hey, that wasn't bad.
24.
Okay. Omerta, you weren't in the direct area. All right, so Colmar and Dustin, you were considered in the area, so go ahead and roll additional dexterity saves to see if you're affected by this.
All right. Action point time. Golly, really? There we go. That's better. 19.
Okay. All right. Both of you succeed. The tentacles are trying to grab onto you, but they don't seem to be finding any purchase. They are quite slimy, so they may be just kind of sliding off. And then let's see if there's anything else I can do. That's its turn for now. So we have Omerta, you're up, Petrie on deck, Marthau in the hole.
I hate to ask, are any more of the other fucking things on their way?
You hear a lot of screams in the distance, but it's difficult to determine if that is from the spirit guardians that Petrie has summoned, or if it's people, or if it's these creatures.
Sure.
There's a lot of chaos going all around. So without direct visual contact, and you guys are at this point on the other side of Olean compared to where you came from.
All right. Well, let me double check here right quick.
I was a little afraid you were going to say you hear screams coming from further down the tunnel that Ivar's in.
And the like weird tentacle space, is that still there? Or is it just
Yeah, it's still there.
okay? Can I get around it to get to the thing?
Yeah.
All right.
Is your speed still 60 feet?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how many minutes exactly it's been, but I mean, we were here talking to the tree for a moment, so I kind of.
How many minutes does it last?
10 minutes.
Okay. By the end of this battle, it'll be done for the day.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll run up to the thing. On my approach, I will go ahead and place a seal on the thing as a bonus action.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna go ahead and grab this motherfucker and try and open up an infernal conduit between me and it, and drain its energy.
Okay.
I gotta replenish my thing.
So that's an attack roll, right?
That's a con save.
Oh. $18.
Can I make you re-roll that?
Do you have luck points or just action points?
I have one more action point.
Okay. I'm not sure I'm gonna allow action points to force rerolls for other creatures anymore, just for yourselves.
Okay.
Because I was finding that was, I don't know, it seemed like things would get. You know what? No, I'm not changing things in the middle of the game. Fuck that. Sorry about that. If you want to use an action point, you go for it.
Yeah, I'll use my last one, and hopefully it rolls below a 17.
Okay. It did.
Perfect. I used up all of my little HP things that I could recover before, so I'm gonna get them all back. 36 points.
Okay.
And for every 10 points, 15 points. For every 15 points of HP that I drain, it gets a level of exhaustion.
All right. So it's at 2 levels of exhaustion.
Yep. Perfect.
All right. Petrie, you're up. Martha on deck. Colmar in the hole.
Okay. Petrie like looks at the beast and then looks back at Marthau, who's like terrified, I'm guessing. And Petrie would start walking towards Marthau and be like, "Do not worry, you'll have my courage." And I smack my banner into the ground, and like this light bomb sort of goes off. And I cast Calm Emotions on what's name on Martha.
Use
So
a
you have my
concentration slot on
courage,
that,
but
huh?
you also lose like probably 100 points of IQ. So you can catch 22.
I can't. I was afraid, but it was probably for a good reason. But I don't remember anymore. That's all right.
So pretty much. Well, you got to make a DC 16 Charisma save, but you can fail it if you want to. And
Yeah,
then,
it's fine. So, that frightening effect is suppressed.
Okay. So I lose 100 points of IQ, and I'm no longer.
yeah.
How am I no longer frightened because I lost 100 points of IQ, or is it a chicken and the egg scenario?
I mean, in the end, doesn't matter.
Yeah, you're just brave now. And then I sort of like give you a wink, and I give you 2 temporary hit points with my gift of the silver flame.
2 temporary hit points.
I thought it was 4. It's
Oh,
equal
yeah,
your proficiency bonus.
Yeah, don't be holding out, man.
All right. Anything else you're doing, Petrie?
No, that's me done.
All right, Martha, you're up. Colmar on deck. Ivar in the hole.
All
So, Martha, you're in the area. So, first thing, give me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna do an action point to reroll that sucker. That's better. I got a 13.
Okay. Unfortunately, that doesn't pass.
It was better than a natural 1.
It definitely is better than a natural 1. I totally endorse you using that action point for that purpose. So you take 16 bludgeoning damage, and you're restrained until the start of your next turn. Though you can take an action either.
In what manner am I restrained?
The tentacles have reached up to you, and they've wrapped around your legs and your arms. And so you can use your action to do a strength or dexterity check to try and free yourself. Otherwise, being restrained, your speed is 0. Creatures have advantage on attack rolls against you. Your attack rolls have disadvantage, and you have disadvantage on dexterity saving throws, but it doesn't stop you from doing anything.
Okay. So Marthal's gonna kind of look. He's gonna look to the.
Oh,
side.
wait! It will stop you from doing any kind of spell with a somatic component, but you have subtle spell anyways, right?
I do.
Yeah.
So Marthal's gonna look to the side and close his eyes, and I'm gonna invoke Belth of the Blinking Knight to teleport out as a bonus action. So
Okay.
I'll teleport, not closer to the town here, obviously, but I will use it to kind of go away. I don't know where everybody's positioned, so I have a harder time saying where I'm going. I'm just not closer to the Delk here, and not.
All right, let me draw it. Let me draw out.
You just I dream a genie, this motherfucker.
All right, so here's kind of how I'm thinking it all looks. So where would you want to go? This is the entrance, and Ivar is just outside. This is the area of the tentacles. That's the monster. There's Omerta. This is Olean. Delkir's over here.
Okay, so then I was wrapped up in that monster, so I would have teleported to kind
They're
of
over here.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay.
And
Where was the swarm at? Where would that be from that picture?
You mean the aliens?
Yeah, the swarm of fucks.
The what?
The swarm of fuckers that we were fighting before.
Yeah, the alien.
Off down in this area.
off camera.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you got Olean is between you guys and where the swarm was coming from.
Okay.
I'm gonna do a level. I'm gonna cast Cast Bolt at the creature. The creature that we're fighting.
Okay.
It does a 20, not natural.
That hits.
And it does 15 points of let's see, thunder damage.
Okay. No splits?
No.
All right. So anything else you're doing with your turn?
So what is that area that what's that area that Colmar and Peach are in that you highlighted?
That's the black tentacles.
Oh, okay. Yeah, nothing else with my turn.
Okay. So Colmar, so that was Martha. Colmar, you're up. Ivar, you're on deck. Monsters in the hole.
Okay. What do you need me to do?
First, do dexterity save.
Something plus something. 12.
Okay. So you take 10 bludgeoning damage and you're restrained.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to cast Misty Step since I just need to speak it
Okay.
and get the GTFO out of there.
You want to go over by Martha?
Yeah.
Okay.
To do an action, I'd have to use an action point, right?
No, you still have an action available.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to light that dude up with a 4th level grease ball.
Omerta is engaged with it. You're going to catch him.
I can't get it. I can't get him without doing it?
No.
Okay. All right, so then I take the my shovel and bang it on the ground, and he makes a wisdom save. Total the dead.
Okay. Fails.
Okay, so he takes 3d12, right?
Yep.
He takes 16 necrotic damage.
All right. The monster is quivering and undulating.
Good.
My two favorite things.
Anything else you want to do, Kolmar?
Oh, let's see here. No, that's it.
Okay. All right. Ivar, you're up. Monster on deck. Omerta, you're in the hole.
Okay. I am going to pull my bow and shoot an arrow at it.
Okay.
Oh, no. Well, I was using sharpshooter, which makes it even more oh, no. But that would be a 10.
Nope.
I will do it again. That is a 22.
That hits.
So I am going to spend superiority die to make it a clinging shadow strike. So it has to make a DC 17 dexterity save.
DC 17.
Yep.
Missed by 1.
Then it is blinded until it takes an action or a bonus action to clear its eyes of the shadows that are now wrapped around it. It is not effective if it doesn't have eyes, but the picture had eyes.
Okay.
And I did 27 points of piercing damage.
All right. The monster seems quite angry. You would gather. I mean, you don't really know how to tell what this creature is feeling. But it stiffens up and its tentacles begin arcing with electricity. So All right. So Omerta, Ivar, Petrie, Omerta, Ivar, Colmar, and Marthau. Each of you give me dexterity saving throws.
How is it attacking us?
Damn it.
He doesn't know where we are. He's blinded.
I'm gonna use an action.
Apparently, it is able to see without seeing.
It's a 10.
15.
22.
My dice like 1s and 8s tonight. And 17.
Colmar, what did you get?
16.
Okay. So anybody that rolled lower than 17 is going to take full damage as it shoots an arc of electricity at Omerta, which then springs off to Colmar, Marthau, and Ivar. Although Ivar seems to have managed to get out of the way completely. So it's using chain lightning. And it has blind sight, which is why it's able to still see Ivar.
I like to think the lightning shoots into the tunnel where Ivar is, and he literally just runs around the loop of the tunnel upside down and down the other side.
That is certainly appropriately epic.
The amount of speed necessary to do something like that, pretty remarkable.
Yeah, but I'm like super light. And actually, I'm one level away from being able to do that all the time. Just run up walls.
Yeah. I was kind of hoping that I could try with, since with the boots, if I move and dash, I got like 120 feet. I think maybe I can run up this tree.
All right. So those who failed their saving throw take 47 points of damage. Those who succeeded take 23.
47?
All right.
Fuck off.
Nice.
All right.
Nice hell points.
I'm going to use Hellish Rebuke.
Ooh.
As am I, in fact.
I believe it's
So, Colmar, it succeeds on your Hellish Rebuke. And actually, it uses its reaction to redirect that Hellish Rebuke back at you. So you have to now save against your own.
Okay. 20, not natural.
Okay, so you still take half of whatever the damage is that you would have dealt.
8, so I take 4.
Yeah.
Hey, look, vitality points. That's nice.
But because
Well,
that's its reaction, it's going to have to deal with Omerta's.
Mhm.
And
DC 17.
it's dexterity,
Yes.
20, not natural. So it succeeds,
Have to.
but half damage.
19 points of fire, I guess reduced to 9.
Okay.
Jesus.
All right. It is now burning and quite singed. So Monster's turn is over. Also it has to make a concentration saving throw. It makes it.
Did it have to do it for the 36 points I did before?
I I did not do that. So that's 18, a DC 18, right?
Yeah.
It fails. So the tentacles around the entrance disappear.
That probably would have saved Kolmar a little bit. He got hit by those on his turn.
And Petrie. Or I mean Martha. Well, yeah. It was the hellish rebuke that did it. All right.
Sure.
So, Omerta, you're up. Petrie on deck. Martha in the hole.
Ugh. This fucking thing. I mean, how's it looking right now?
Hard to tell since it's such an alien creature. It's definitely moving much more slowly than it did when it first appeared.
All right, I'm gonna put a bonus action, put one more seal on it, and then I'm gonna swing at it. I got 2 attacks, so let's see what happens. Ooh, yeah, he's probably gonna die. First attack is a 20 to hit.
It hits.
D8 and D6. Up. 9 points of piercing damage. The second attack was a natural 20.
All right, roll again.
Roll again. 19?
Hits.
Perfect.
Roll the percentile.
Yep. 59.
59, dudes. Not quite the same. Target takes 1d6 bleed damage at the start of their turn until magically healed or DC 15 medicine check.
Well, don't expect no medicine check from me.
So that's double max damage.
Double max damage.
Yeah.
12 plus 16 is 28 plus 3, 31. And then I'll consume both my seals on him to do an extra 66 damage. 2, 3, 4, 5.
All right.
6d6 or 66?
6d6.
That didn't make it any more clear.
6 Delta 6.
Six of these
okay.
guys.
So
I mean, unless he's dead already.
when you use a seal, what does that take an action or a reaction?
It's, let me double check here. Where you at? Not conduit. Baleful interdict. Yeah, so this is when you or an ally hits the target that I can see that has my seal on it. I can consume the seals, inflicting 2d6 necrotic damage on the target per seal. And because of my level, it's an extra d6 on top of that. So, and then it's used. They're gone after that. They're consumed.
Right.
So it's like smite.
Well, wait a minute. Did your improvement doesn't happen until level 13, isn't it?
Was it? Improved baleful
Because-
interdict is 11th level.
Oh, okay. Never mind then. All right. So go ahead and well, first of all, so you know, whenever you use a seal, much like smite, if you do it on a critical, it would be considered part of the critical damage.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
So
So
an extra 36 damage.
Just
uh,
make it deader.
well, 66
36
is
doubled.
36 times
Doubled,
2,
yeah.
so 72.
Yeah.
But either way, go ahead and describe how you kill it.
I whisper sweet nothings into no. So I kind of picture it as sort of whenever I slash across and then pierce through its body, and then my eyes sort of light up with like a arcane glyph almost as it sort of activates the seals that were on him, and then it sort of begins to eat away at his insides, seeing as it is necrotic damage. And I just did it really hard this time.
All right. So you guys are kind of looking around the area. You see that Olean seems to be not moving as much. There are many wounds within him, in the bark of the tree, and like gouges and acid marks and all kinds of things. But you don't see the Delkir until suddenly, Petrie, you turn around and it's right in front of you.
Where is it? And it's like right here.
Well, it wasn't there a moment before, but just as Petrie turned around, it then just appeared right there. And before Petrie can react, it jolts its arm into your chest. And although you're ethereal, you don't have anything to grab. Where its hand is, you suddenly see the outline of a beating heart that is slowly being crushed. And as it's being crushed, these kind of ethereal outlines of blood vessels begin spreading from that area. And Petrie looks to be in absolute agony as he's just releasing like a scream out, but there's no sound, as he then is sucked into the Delkir and completely absorbed.
My blood armor.
And at that point, the Delkir's eyes start to kind of glow with a black fire. What did she? And then once that happens, Olean, he uses a branch, and you can see at that point the tree is also from the top running down. It seems to be slowly changing. Some kind of black ichor is spreading from the canopy down towards the roots. And he kind of wraps you all in one of these branches, and you hear him shout, "Go!" And he flings you all through the air
Like Team Rocket style.
Yes. Team Rocket blasting off again. And yeah, you guys begin sailing over the canopy of the Eldine Reaches. And as you begin to fall back to the ground, many of the trees seem to shift and move in order to catch you and break your fall. But unfortunately, it is still a bit of it is a bit traumatic still. So everybody takes 6 bludgeoning damage in the process.
And here I was about like, okay, we're falling now. I was going to try and call the horse to save me.
Oh yeah, you can do that.
Yeah.
And I am at 0.
Vitality points?
No.
Oh, phew. I was gonna say I didn't want to kill you again.
So
What about me?
So they say.
Yeah, can ethereal Petrie be flung through the air?
Well, so Petrie's gone. He was gone before that happened. It is safe to assume that the Delkir devoured him.
Yeah, now I'm the Dalkir. Time to roll my new character.
We got a man on the inside.
You killed my dinosaur.
That's true. If the Dalkir like absorbs any of his personality, it'll become suicidal. So this is easy.
Yeah.
That was our plan all along.
Yeah.
Right.
We just got to show him the spear. He'll
Right.
do it himself.
Like, oh yeah.
I remember this.
I mean, it is sort of a shame that we didn't use the spear since it was right there. We could have just ended the whole campaign. Stick it. Done.
That's what I was saying. Like, do it. Stop it now. Now's our chance. Go.
We were, I was gonna do that before we got flung through the air.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, get out of here. Wait, but he's right. We got everything.
Yeah,
like,
but
no.
the spearhead is not attached to the branch.
We could have
He could
made
have done that.
could have done a makeshift thing.
I got an action point left. I'll slam it on there with an action point.
I suppose divine intervention doesn't help me, or banishment, or any kind of maybe a planar ally. Like, I've got all the spell slots, please.
No, unfortunately.
Yeah, I get it. No, it's good.
So yeah, you guys, when you guys come to, you are now seems to be a good several miles from the Druid Grove.
And you only took 6 points of damage, guys. Good job.
Yeah. If Team Rocket can survive.
Yeah.
Well, the trees seemed to really help in terms of catching you.
They've just put mostly soft branches. Got it.
Yeah. You hit all the green branches.
You know that old saying, you fell out of the ugly tree and hit every branch on the way down.
Yeah, so each of you have a number of lacerations from the fall, as well as all the other damage that you accumulated as part of the battles. But at least for the time being, everything appears to be relatively safe. So long as you don't run into the occasional owl bear.
Or the cow.
Right.
So we're just gonna like attach the spearhead to the branch and go back, right?
Is it as easy as just? I mean, looking at the branch and looking at the spearhead, does it look like is a simple a matter of just like sticking one in the other and like tying it with a rope, or?
I mean, you probably could, but the branch, although it would serve to make a good spear shaft, it is not currently in condition that one would consider it effective as the shaft of a spear. It would need to be whittled down a bit and shaped.
Gotcha. So we're gonna need somebody who can fashion a spear out of this for us. Perhaps. Well, offhand, would we know anybody or have met anybody in our travels that
Do you guys have any tool proficiencies that might be useful?
Not this guy.
Nope.
No.
I don't even think Tastus would have had something. And he has everything.
I have a disguise kit. I can make it look like it's properly attached.
I mean, style is really everything, isn't it?
The Dow Keers are the only one who has to be fooled.
Yeah, I don't have any tool proficiencies.
And I'm pretty sure we're kind of far from like a city, though we may be able to find some forest community where they have a carpenter or something.
We could always go back to the Handsome Mansion.
Well, Iron Town, or whatever it was called, might be the quickest place we could get to.
Well, at least we'd be far away from here. And I'm still those creatures aren't far away, and they could find us.
It's not late, is it? Like that shit happened like early morning, right?
No, you guys have been fighting ever since you got to the Eldine Reaches. Like when you guys teleported in from the Handsome Mansion, and then you had the fight with all the savages and the children of the winter and the smog monster. And then you got to
we got to the village.
we got to
rest.
Greenheart.
Yeah, we were in the middle of a long rest when the walls were being attacked, which is why Ivar wound up leaving all of his stuff behind, because I'm sure everybody else packed all of their things up before going to the wall. But I decided saving lives was more important, so I left immediately.
But you know what? For that, Ivar, you're going to get a bonus action point.
Yeah.
Since that was totally in character, and although it hurts, that was good. But what was I gonna say?
So I assume it was night because we were
So it was
met with everybody and we're sleeping.
It was nighttime, and so you still have maybe 2 hours until dawn, at which point the gem will recharge.
Well, then I would suggest we make our way away from Olean in case any of those other smaller monsters are swarming in this direction or this area too.
Which way is Olean? Do we know?
Yeah. See that path of broken branches?
I Oh yes. Well, that direction. Well, we shall head the opposite way.
Anybody have any reactions to seeing what happened to Petrie?
He probably wanted it that way.
We're still in survival mode, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, Omerta, it didn't have like any significant attachment to the kid, so.
Ivar doesn't really know what was going. Like, it was really just, as near as I could tell, Petrie's ghost came back, and now Petrie's ghost is gone. So,
like, Omerta's seen
Alex
this.
has been restored.
Omerta has seen this guy come to life twice. He just assumes it's going to happen again.
Martha would say quietly, "Is like that's exactly what happened to Fenris, except Fenris wasn't a ghost. The Dalkir corrupts everything it touches. I think the next time we face it, we're going to be faced with a hard choice, and potentially a Petrie that is different than the Paladin / cleric / barbarian that we once knew
/ ghost.
Yeah,
I'll be honest with you. I am far more weirded out by the half alien, half zombie Kolmar than by the ghost of Petrie. The ghost of Petrie is like the most normal of the people coming back that we had today.
and then Martha was like kind of dejected, and he's like, "Oh yeah." So, what made you choose this body, Kolmar?
I don't know. I'm unconscious on the ground.
No, you're in vitality points. You don't go unconscious when you're in vitality points.
You don't?
No.
Nope.
You could choose to if you want to.
Oh,
Always a choice.
I'll go over. I'll go over to this version of Kolmar and put a hand on his shoulder and just you'll be all right. And you got 1 hit point, so you're out of vitality.
okay, good.
Okay.
You still have a level of exhaustion, and Ivar, you have a level of exhaustion as well. Still.
Oh, I mean, if he's exhausted, here, take 5 hit points to also to heal that as well. So 1 hit point to get you out of that, and then
Well, you spend the you spend
I'm
5
I'm gonna spend the 5. Yeah. So
right.
get rid
So
of
he
the
doesn't
exhaustion.
get 5 hit points and the level of exhaustion reduced.
Just 1 hit point and exhaustion gone.
Right.
So I got him down 6 there.
Yeah, so
All right. Who else needs a touch up?
So Kolmar gets up and he's like, "Oh, thank you. I seem to have this bad bump on my head. Oh, dear me."
I'm sure it'll fade away. No worries.
Well, if he was actually unconscious all that time, and since I have a disguise kit, I'm at least going to have like painted like little eyes and a smiley face. Make him look friendlier.
Like, so is this xenomorph head the one that's talking?
Yeah.
Is it talking, or like is its mouth moving, or is like there's sound coming out of the head?
No, its mouth is moving. It sounds like an elven woman.
And all right, no eyes. I mean, do you got like blind sight now?
No, there's eyes on this picture.
Oh, is there? Okay.
The eyes are like a crystal blue.
Oh, all right. That's a shame.
He almost looks more like a baby sandworm from Beetlejuice.
Okay. He's got the stripes.
No, I mean the picture that Peter drew
Mm-hmm.
almost looks like a sandworm.
It is probably best that we keep moving before we take your quick method back to the fine mansion.
Yes, we just need to stay out of trouble for a couple more hours.
Let's put some space between us.
I think that stench from the grove has followed us. Terrible.
The what? The grove?
Stench.
Ah. Yes, I think it's going to be following us for a while. I'll have to have Charles find an arrangement that works without stinking up the place. Do you have any backup bodies at the mansion?
Are you not particular to this one?
I just think maybe we could find one that smells a little better.
Just rinse it down a little bit. I think it's delightful.
An elderly elven woman smells too bad.
The woman part's probably fine, although she could use a shower. But the head part
What do you mean? That's the best part.
smells a little out of this world.
What's wrong with my head?
Nothing. You're beautiful.
I have a disguise kit. It has a mirror. Well, hold up the mirror in front of him.
Yeah. And Colmar screams. Why didn't anyone tell me?
How does one tell you that your head is a xenomorph head?
I think this thought you knew.
Well, I didn't know.
I think you should keep it.
What did you think it was?
An elven woman. And looks down at the rest of the body.
It's a fair assumption. So how did, after you died, how did you fall into your body?
And the will-o'-the-wisp appears. And floats around. I move my spirit into the will-o'-the-wisp. And someone thought it was funny.
Ah. So is this will-o'-the-wisp is he in control of you, or are you in control of it?
I'm in control of my faculties. It was merely just carrying me.
What I don't understand is if the body was in the ground, like she had died, someone buried her, how did she get the crazy Dalkir-like head?
She must have been diseased.
Or probably they did have the spies amongst them that they suspected. It just wasn't us.
Now, like, I'm gonna take a closer look at like the joint between like where the head and Colmar's the woman body is. Like, does it look like I just plopped the head on top of this body here, or does there appear to be like a smooth connection between the neck and like the thorax / shoulders?
No, it doesn't look like somebody plopped a head. It just looks like somebody was in mid-transformation. And the head was first.
Yes. It's probably a spy. I wonder how many of them were there.
I'm not sure. This certainly poses a problem going into town or whatever. Anyone have a cloak or something I could cover up?
You're muted.
Oh shit! I think you need more than a cloak to cover all of that. But
Ivar produces a gnome-sized cold weather cloak and throws it over your head.
You pull it, tie it under. How does this look?
Well, it doesn't solve the problem, but it looks dashing.
Well, if you say it looks dashing, then it looks.
Guys, Petrie's really gone this time.
I don't know that we really even know that. I think if we give it some time and he doesn't come back, then we can make the assumption. But the good news is, Colmar and I already had a funeral for him. It was very nice.
Oh, yes, we did.
When was the funeral?
It was after he died the first time in the Beholder's lair. You know, all the rituals of the Silver Flame were done. So I figure that should take for all future deaths.
Yeah, so I hope one death, subsequent deaths wouldn't negate the effects of another one.
I mean, that would seem unfair. I guess I don't really know if he was simply dispatched the way one might, or like a specter or a ghost, or if the Dalkir has like literally destroyed his spirit.
Do you remember when we were in
Fort Deep Dark.
the land of the beasts? Drum, that's it. Do you remember when we were visiting Drum?
I remember it in great detail, but tell me about it anyway, just to make sure that my recollection is the same as yours.
In Drum, we were walking through the city streets, and there was a large commotion, and we fought, and went and got trapped inside a creature who ended up being Fenris, which was one of the original adventures from McCormick's Folly, whom you probably remember.
I remember, there was like a ghost inside a giant monster.
Yes. So Fenris was taken in much the same way, although he had a corporeal body, unlike Petrie.
Well, then maybe Petrie's out there somewhere.
I doubt it.
I mean, at least as I recall, and my memory may be a little bit hazy or vague on this, when everyone escaped the giant monster, there were like portals and people were going through the portals, and Elmorn just took the opportunity to destroy Fenris's spirit. There was no actual attempt was made to rescue him. It was just, well, he's in here, dead. Everybody got out of there.
Well, Fenris was gone beyond all help at that point. But alas, it's just sad to know that Petrie will be suffering much the same fate. It hurts to see two friends suffer needlessly. And we'll still have to face Petrie again.
I'm sure that it's painful for you, but at least if we face Petrie again, we'll be able to set him free.
Yes, that's what he's always wanted. He was really good at running away.
And I'm sure we could, if we could find like a priest of the Silver Flame or some sort of cleric who can perform all the usual miracles, maybe we could find out if Petrie actually is trapped that way or not.
We should visit Flame's Keeper Stinson.
Yeah, he might be able to do it. I didn't I was a little unclear on whether or not he could actually commune with his god or not.
Flamekeeper Stenson or Petrie?
Petrie clearly could because he actually could perform miracles, but Flamekeeper Stenson, as I recall, could not.
No. Maybe we just given Flamekeeper Stenson too much credit.
Because I've heard that you just need about 2,500 pounds of grain, and then there's a spell you can cast.
It should be known that Osiris was an agricultural god.
But for now, I'd suggest we get a move on, just to put as much distance as possible, as I don't want to have to fight those things again.
Yeah, agreed. And I'll just start walking.
All right, so you guys start walking away from Olean and Greenheart, the city grove where Olean was located. And then everybody give me a perception check.
I have a question. I don't know if we can sense a distance difference or not, but we now have this instinctual knowledge of where the grove is. Do we get some sense that we were closer to it before we got flung away, or we're closer to it now? Is it like a physical destination we need to get to, or
do we
some sort of metaphysical thing?
Or do we just find like the right grass in this forest and we can go right there?
No, so you do have a sense that you are moving in the general direction towards the grove. So
I'd like to remind you that I have advantage on trying to find somebody who's invisible.
no invisibility, but yes, duly noted.
All right.
Oh, damn it. Oh, yep, 19. I rolled a 17 and a natural 20.
9.
All right. So Colmar and Ivar, you see a dark figure emerge from behind a tree and bear a weapon, and in a gravelly voice say, "Where's Petrie?" And that's where we'll end the night.
Never heard of him.
Just say, point towards green tree. And be like, he's back there.
What everybody think about the session tonight?
I had fun too. I liked your natural 3 or 4 natural 20s in a row.
Jesus Christ. Of course I'd be rolling it against myself. I'd be better against myself, I guess, than against Omerta or Ivar.
Yeah. It was just fun.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
No, I mean, Ivar still got the impression that the beast was formidable. He just assumes that Canulots are like way more powerful than they are. So every time we need to like definitely 100% for sure kill something, just use that trick.
Yeah, give it the spear and it's all over.
Hopefully it takes a week.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about anybody else here, but I hope Petrie's character comes back as somebody who can use a spear.
Yeah, see, it was a good end. I feel like that's Petrie. That's good. That's cool.
I because I didn't share that with Brendan earlier that I was going to do that. I actually didn't.
Yeah. I wasn't. I knew what you were doing. And I'm like, oh shit, I'm not ready for this. Please be over.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I just assumed when Petrie's ghost came back that he was just going to be playing Petrie. So,
Petrie the ghost.
right. Or, or that he would like take physical form again at some point. But so then when he got absorbed for at least a couple minutes, I was like, yeah, but when's Petrie coming back? Maybe you can be this dark figure and we can avoid a fight.
Yeah. or Petrie could just keep fighting from the inside out.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. I guess I'll be sort of interested to see is I remember Fenris, and so I know how like really what happened to Fenris is in part a reflection of the fact that the guy who was playing him like isn't playing him now. So he had this sort of unremarkable death inside the belly of the beast. I feel like Petrie should still, if there's like a second death for Petrie coming up, he should have a better death than that. Not just Elmorn decides to kill him like right before we leave.
Something a little bit more noble
Yeah.
or fitting, anyways, for Petrie. Noble's not the right word for it.
Right.
I do really miss playing a cleric though. The amount of spells I had ready to go, oh my god, it was so good. And I only used one. I did use Spirit Guardians a lot. I'll give him that. That was pretty epic, I think. I got to like spawn like fucking Spirit Guardians like a Bannerman. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, between you and Martha using Firebolt, that probably did save you guys from an additional swarm attack.
That would have been bad because I only had 24 hit points the whole game.
Yeah.
That is why, like, normally I would have, when I ran up and hit the thing with the hammer, I normally would have stood there and tried to, like, draw attacks from other people. But with 24 hit points, I decided that was not a good plan.
Yeah. I went up and down a lot.
Yeah. And since you guys killed the Xenomorph Rex so quickly, I had to think on my feet what could, because I knew the Delkir was going to come and basically corrupt Olean in order to get the information that he needed to go to the Grove. So I was like, all right, what challenge can I put in front of you guys now, since you guys killed the T-Rex? And I was looking and I was like, oh, this thing will work. It's shit, of course I would close it out. It's an aberration from Volo's Guide.
Yeah. That's why I look familiar. I was like, I've seen this thing before.
Yeah, I was all set to say, "Get away from him, you bitch!" But it died.
Yeah, it used to be called a Morkoth. I don't remember if they changed.
Yes,
the name or not.
Morkoth. So that's
And it looked like it looked like it had a bunch of treasure on its back that we just left behind.
We didn't just leave it behind. We got fucking tossed.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, so now we have Kolmar, who's returned in a different body, and then Brendan will be playing something new next time, and we'll kind of roll from there.
It's good.
Anybody have any questions or anything that they think could have gone differently?
No, actually, I guess one note, I don't think it's criticism, but one note is when Peter's character was crawling out of the ground. My thought was, why are we not still running? Like, there's swarms of aliens right there. Why are we waiting for this guy to get out of the dirt?
Yeah. It's always awkward in trying to introduce or reintroduce a person's character in the middle of the shit. So, oh, sorry, cat.
Yeah, I didn't know what you were going to do. I was just going to assume when you said the digging, I was just going to finish digging and then get up out of the ground and start and see the party and just start running behind them.
Oh. Yeah, I guess we could have went that way, but in my mind I thought, well, you're a corpse anyways. You're raising out from the ground. Let's make it real obvious.
Well, there was a second when I was also concerned about what your speed is.
Yeah.
Because we were going like at a good fast clip. And so if you had gotten out of the ground and you were running at 30, I think the aliens might have overtaken you.
That's a good thing I had that.
Because I got the sense they were pretty fast.
Yeah.
But luckily Petrie appeared and pushed them off further.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because then you went back for like the dinosaur thing as well. I'm like, oh man, oh man.
Yeah. I also thought at that point when you ran back that you were going to be swarmed, and that maybe since you have the head, they would just sort of recognize you as one of their own, leave you alone.
Oh, that would have been good.
Yeah, I was wondering if that was going to come up.
Or I also thought for a second there that maybe Olean would be like, "Why are you with the one with the alien head?"
Yeah.
Hey, strangers to this community who arrived suspiciously just before this whole attack happened, and you're traveling with one of them.
Mm-hmm.
So many questions.
And so few good answers.
I just assume Olean is wise enough to have sort of seen through some of that. Like, Olean probably knew more about what was going on than we did.
He was supposed to be wise, so probably.
Right. Like Sprite Heartsight. He knew that you weren't really one of them.
It's true, yeah. Also your call with the reroll thing, that was pretty cool for like that time. Are we gonna be changing that permanently now to
No, I mean I've thought about it. And I mean I kind of look at it like, you know, action points are already kind of like the luck feat, and it gives the luck feat a bit of a boost in a game when you're using action points to allow luck points to alter the roles of opponents and enemies. And action points should mostly be focused on your own attempts at things. But I didn't want to change precedent in the middle of a battle either, especially not without talking to everybody first. Because it's something I had thought about, but hadn't really voiced yet.
Yeah.
Because I know, Kurt, you in your game, that's how you handle action points.
Yep.
And I actually kind of liked that, but didn't want. So yeah, since I recall you ruling like that, it's something I thought about. But yeah, didn't want to take that away from Tony.
Yeah, in that moment, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. But, okay.
especially since you're using a resource that is fairly precious.
Yeah, although I'm always so conservative, like even now, we ended the session, I still have one action point left. Like I always conserve them to the point where maybe once or twice I use them all.
Mhm. Yeah,
I've
I
got a
definitely-
bonus one, so I'll have that bonus one forever.
I had a bonus one early on. I kept that thing for a long time, but I did eventually use it.
Yeah.
I just got to the point where I'm like, you know what? I mean, I'm not getting them back next session. Fuck it, I'll just use it. If I die, I die.
Same. I actually just used my bonus action point last session.
Mm.
To have in the big fight. So
That was a good session to use it.
yeah, I figured I've been hanging out for the whole time, so might as well use it now. 2 character deaths. Or
has everybody been enjoying the combats of the last couple sessions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. All right.
You know, there's always that tension between like after the fact, it's great when you were afraid your character was going to die. Mid fight, less great.
I just realized since we redid my spell slots, I have 2 spells prepared that I need to redo. I got to prepare 2 other spells.
Oh, right. You don't have access to those ones.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll have that. I'll just pick something next game. I don't know what we'll be doing. So
I have to go to bed. I have to get up early. So I'll talk to you later.
See everybody in 2 weeks. Next week for Kurt's game.
Yep. And then Friday for Peter's. Awesome.
Yep.
Yep.
Bye.